Hello everybody. Last time we studied in bio about the nervous system for standard 10th. Now today we go to the next chapter of standard 10th, and that is sense organs, or sorry, it is not organ system, it is sense organs. So the name of the chapter is sense organs. Mainly we are going to talk about two main sense organs of ours. One is the eye and other is the ear. So eye and the ear is the main important part. Now the sense organs enable us to be aware of the conditions of the external as well as internal environment. So that's the main part over here, that what are the sense organs going to do? The sense organs, whether it be the eye or nose or ears or skin, they are going to let us know that what is the condition around us in the environment. So the external as well as the internal environment will be known to us by the use of by the sensations which are going to be transmitted from the sense organs. The major sense organs in our body are the eye, ears, tongue, nose and skin. Okay, this is the five senses what we talk about. So the five senses are the vision, that is the eyes, the audibility, that is the ears, the tongue, which is going to be the taste, the nose, which gives you the smell, and the skin, which gives you the sensation of pressure and pain, which are sensitive to light, sound, taste, smell and touch respectively. So yes, eye will be for light, ears will be for sound, taste will be tongue, nose, smell and touch, skin. In addition, there are also the senses for balance, body movement, hunger, thirst and pain, etc. So yes, there are, apart from these ones, we also have the sense organs which will be dealing with the balance of the body or the body movements, the hunger, thirst, वो सब type के things, and also pain will be sensed by our body. The actual sensation is perceived by the secondary cells located in these organs. Such cells are categorized as receptors. We understood this particular part of receptors in the nervous system part, that they are the receptors, they are the sensory receptors, they are the one which are going to sense that particular physical quantity so that you feel that particular thing by the brain. So that's why they are called as sensory cells which are present in the organs. So the actual sensations are perceived by the sensory cells located in these organs. Receptors. Receptor is that specialized tissue or cell sensitive to a specific stimulus. So that's why you have got the 5 kinds of receptors in our body. The first one is mechanoreceptors. Are receptors for touch, pressure of skin due to mechanical damage. So mechanical change, sorry. So whatever mechanical change is taking place around us, the pressure, the pain, और ये जो भी है, वो सब कुछ हम लोग skin से, we are able to sense it by the skin. That is the mechanical receptors of our body. The next are chemoreceptors. That is the taste. So receptors of taste of the tongue and smell of the nose, tongue and smell. That is from the nose, because the chemicals we normally may be able to identify with the smell of that thing, and apart from that we can taste certain things and we can find out the actual condition. So that's why they are chemoreceptors. So it is smell and taste, that is the ears, the nose and the tongue, which is going to give you the sensation of chemoreceptors. Photoreceptors, which is related to light, light, that is photons, are rods and cones on the retina of eye due to light. To sensitive to light are the rod and cones which are present in the retina of the eye, so that is photoreceptors. Thermoreceptors, yeah, that is the temperature related ones. The heat and cold receptors in the skin due to change in temperature. So yeah, vasodilation, vasodilate constriction, जो सीखा था हम लोग ने. So that is due to the thermoreceptors. And finally are phonoreceptors, receptors of sound or hearing. So that is the 5 receptors which we are sensitive to in our body. We now study the first sense organ, that is the eye. So we have the first thing as the eye. Okay, I'll draw the figure later on when I'm explaining it. Right now we'll just understand what is given about the eye, the location and all. Orbits. The two eyes are located in deep sockets or orbits. So these are the orbits. This is the, if you're in the skull, the opening, this particular part, the hollow part of the skull which is there, in which the eye is fixed, is the orbit. So these are called as the orbits, or the deep socket on the front side of the head. Each eye is in the form of a ball and can be rotated with the help of 6 muscles. So the rotation of the eye this way, up, down, pura ka jo movement hai, all that movement is taking place by the 6 muscles which are there in the eyeball. So eyeball ke wahan pe jo 6 muscles hai, they are going to make the movement of the eye in all the directions. So that movement of the complete eye from like this, so pura movement jo hota hai, that is because of the muscles. There are 6 muscles controlling the axis in all directions. Then comes the eyelid. The upper and the lower movable eyelids protect the outer surface of the eye and can shut out light. Each eyelid carries outwardly curved eyelashes which prevents falling of larger particles into the eye. So the eyelids, the upper part and the lower, this is the lower part and the upper part of the eyelid. Now you can see that we are able to move the upper part to go towards the downward part. So they are the lower upper and the lower, they are the movable eyelids which protect the eye from any kind of damage, and it immediately gets shut when there is too much of light. So definitely not only due to any particular mechanical damage, but even a photo damage which could take place, that could also be controlled by the eyelids. Moreover, the eyelids contain the eyelashes. The eyelashes are the of course the hair, like hair over here, which is going to protect the eye from any external bigger particle entering into the eye. So it will get stuck into the eyelid. So eyelashes is going to protect it from entering inside. Eyebrows are virtually not a pair of the eye. So then comes the eyebrows. The eyebrows are actually not pair of the eye part. So it is not a part of the eye, but still we consider it because it is connected to that particular. So yet these are also protective. What is the protection it gives? You know, it is only thing is that when there is water dripping out from here, अगर ये eyebrows नहीं होते तो पानी ऐसे जाके सीधा अंदर जा सकता था, even your sweat. So the eyebrows, what they do is that they collect it over here and make it fall like this, so it will not enter into the eye. So they prevent the raindrops or trickling perspiration from getting into the eye. So eyebrows are the one which are going to help the eye or protect the eye from the water dripping into it or the perspiration, that sweat dripping into it. Then the next one is over here. There is one particular gland which is called as a tear gland or lacrimal gland. So tear glands or lacrimal glands are located in the upper sideward portion of the orbit. So upper sideward portion of the orbit, यहाँ पे इस जगह पे there are the lacrimal glands. So this one over here and this one over here, they are the lacrimal glands, and 6 to 12 ducts of the gland pour the secretion over the front surface. So what it does is that lacrimal glands is going to give a duct over here, and what ducts say, there are 6 to 7 openings जहाँ से ducts say tears will be continuously being flowing, and it will be coming on the eye. And when we blink, actually why do we keep on blinking? Okay, the why is the reason that and if you try to stare continuously for some time, you will find your eye becomes dry. This is because the tear glands का जो secretion है, the lacrimal glands का secretion है, that is being continuously coated by when we blink. So that's the surface of the eye should remain moist. Okay, it is required that the surface of the eye should remain moist, and that's why we keep on blinking, so that we are spreading the tears which are spread by the lacrimal glands on the surface of the eye surface, and hence keeping the eye wet. So the movement of the eyelids blinking spread the liquids which mainly serves as a lubricant. The tears also keep the front surface of the eye clean by washing away dust particles. So yes, even if you must have seen that whenever you are getting any kind of a dust particle entering into your eye, immediately the water will start flowing from the eye, and that's why it will be draining out the dust particle, washing away the dust particle. They also have an antiseptic property due to the enzyme lysozyme, which kills the germs. So apart from that, the tears also has got some kind of a antiseptic property, which will allow not allow any kind of the infection to enter into the eye directly. So that is how the lacrimal glands or the tear glands are going to help the eye and protect the eye. The tear duct drains off the liquid into a sac lining at the inner angle of the eye. A nasolacrimal duct conducts the secretion into the nasal cavity. So when you blink over here, the whatever is being spread, after some time it is going to drain out through two ducts which are over here. So these ducts are going to be there, which is going to be the nasolacrimal duct, which is going to connect it to the nostrils, and then it is going down into the throat. So that's why the whatever the secretion of the tears will be there, that is going to come. So that's the reason that when you start crying, when you cry, you start when your nose starts watering, you start nose also start watering. Why? Because the lacrimal glands से जो secretion tears जो है वो अंदर जाएगा और वो अंदर से नाक में जाएगा, नाक से भी बाहर निकलेगा. Because the flow is much more, that's why instead of going into your mouth, it comes outside from the nose. So that's why you start crying. So much so that even you put some drops in your eyes. So eye drops, when you put in here, you can taste that eye drops in the mouth. So आँख में से जाके वो nose में जाके अंदर throat में जाके, so you can feel the taste of the eye drops. Yeah, a nasal lacrimal duct conducts the secretion into the nasal cavity. All of us have sometimes experienced the medicines dropped into the eye comes in the into the nose and even into the throat. This happens through the above mentioned duct. Due to irritation or in certain emotional state, the tear glands pour out a lot of liquid which waters the eyes or overflows as tears. You may shed tears both in grief and in extreme joy. So yes, this also makes the tears a sign of expression. So it is emotional kind of a gland. So during emotional kind of a movement, whether it is a sad moment or a happy moment, also the secretion from the lacrimal glands may increase, which will bring out tears. तो जिसको बोलते हैं खुशी के आंसू, वैसे भी हो सकता है कि खुशी के आंसू भी हो सकते हैं, या तो या रो भी रहे हो. So both things possible. So that's why it is going to be the function of the overflow of the tears. So we see that the functions of the tears are lubricates the surface of the eye, wash away the dust particles, help in killing germs, and communicate emotions. So these are the three important functions of the tears. Now apart from that, the part which is not actually a part of the eye and it's outside the eye is another part which is called as conjunctiva. A conjunctiva is a thin membrane covering the entire front part of the eye. It is continuous with the inner lining of the eyelid over the cornea. It is reduced to a single layer of transparent epithelium. So the conjunctiva is there on the complete eyeball. उसके ऊपर एक conjunctiva करके एक layer है, and that layer is very thin or very thin epithelium in front of the cornea. So cornea के ऊपर it is a very thin layer. Otherwise there is a coating on top of it on the other sides. So over the cornea it is reduced to a single layer of transparent epithelium. You must have often heard of a very common eye disease, conjunctivitis. Yeah, हम लोग कहते हैं आँख आ गई है. That is conjunctivitis, sore eyes, आँख आई. So that is conjunctivitis, in which this outermost layer turns red due to the viral infection. So when there is a viral infection of the conjunctiva, it leads to the condition called as conjunctivitis. The bony orbit structure, eyebrow, tear glands and conjunctiva serve for eye protection in their own way. So you can see that all these parts, the orbit over here, the eyebrows, right, the tear glands, yeah, and the conjunctiva, all of them are the protective mechanism to protect the eye in different manners. So this is about the outer structure of the eye. Now we come to the structure of the eyeball. Now, the walls of the eyeball is composed of three concentric layers: outer sclerotic, middle choroid, and inner retina. So now we are going to draw the figure. Now, in a very rare condition, up till now in boards they were never asked you to draw the eye, but in prelim examinations many of the schools have asked to draw the figure of the eye. So it is not okay, it is important for you to see to it that you know how to draw the eye. Okay, so what we'll do is that I am trying to draw it in a simple manner so that you can know that how to draw it and how to go through drawing this thing. So first of all, they are given that there are three concentric layers. So that's why we'll draw the first three layers, and these three layers, we are three, so that's why we'll draw four concentric circles. So the first thing what we'll draw is four concentric circles. I'll take different colors so that it is understood properly. So now these are the four concentric circles. Now since we would not be requiring the complete part, we will need to remove this part. So this part needs to be removed, okay, and also we need a part over here to be removed, okay. So if you see the actual figure, it will be something like this, that it comes out over here like this, and with some notch like structure here, okay. And yeah, we'll just stop here. Now we'll just mention these layers. So it is the outermost is sclerotic. So the outermost over here, this one is sclera, is or sclerotic layer. So sclerotic layer or sclera. So we call it as sclera. So sclera is made of tough fibrous tissue and is white in color. So whatever white color what you see around that cornea or the outside over there in the eye is nothing but the sclera. What you can see is white color part is the sclera. Okay. The white portion in the front of the eye is the sclerotic layer itself, visible through the conjunctiva. So of course there is a conjunctiva on top of it, but the white portion, the conjunctiva is the transparent part, so you can't see that. It is not coming as a hindrance, or neither you can see from in somebody's eyes the conjunctiva. But yeah, the white portion what you see is the sclera. It bulges out and becomes transparent in the front region where it is covered, when it covers the lower part of the eye. This part is the cornea. So where we see that this bulges out, so this is going to bulge out a bit like this. So this is what is going to change. Over here we are going to draw a bulging part out here. So this is going to bulge out. You can see it is a complete layer which will be bulging out like this. So this is the bulge out part. Quite okay? Yeah, quite okay. Okay, bulge out part, right. So that is the, and this part is called as the cornea. So the bulge out part over here will be the cornea. So we call this part as cornea. And of course the conjunctiva is outside this. So conjunctiva is the part which will be outside the cornea. So I'll draw the conjunctiva like this. So this is the conjunctiva. Okay, this is the conjunctiva. Conjunctiva. Then comes the, sometimes the cornea of certain patients turn opaque, white and non-functional. In such cases, the defective cornea can be replaced by a healthy cornea of the donated eye. So you see over here that the bulged out part over here, is not going to be containing the white pigment. So it will be transparent. The cornea, what we see over here, this cornea, the bulged out part, is the transparent part. Now this transparent part, in case of certain people, they become opaque due to some kind of a defect. So if it becomes opaque, they can immediately, they can have a eye transplant done. So in such case, if a healthy person gives a cornea of his as on death, he gives his cornea, donates his cornea, then it can be replaced to a person who is having the defective eye, and accordingly the person can see some things later on. So now this is nothing but the eye donation. Now in the present generation, it is seen that the eye donation can be done within 40 hours of the death of a person. It's very, very important that everybody signs up for the eye donation, because it's a very important thing, because you feel that when somebody has already died, what's the use of just whatever the method of cremation is, whether you are burning the body or you are going to put it in a coffin or whatever it is, but wasting that particular eye is not something good. So it's better that those eyes can be donated to somebody who can see the things, see the beautiful world, and we can imagine the life of a blind person, and accordingly we can think that what would be the emotion of a person who cannot see when suddenly, due to some eye donation, he is able to see something. So that will be like God sent man for that particular person. Okay, so the blind person will really be so happy about it. So that's it. Cornea remains alive up to 40 hours after the death of the person. If donated, the eye can be removed soon, within about 4 hours after death. It is stored in an eye bank at a very low temperature in a suitable medium, such as blood plasma or certain other sterile germ-free liquid medium. So yeah, it can be alive till 40 hours. It can be transplanted within 40 hours. So that's why it needs to be removed from the dead person within 4 hours, so that the person can get, the operation can be conducted within that particular statutory time. And of course, once the eyes are removed, they need to be stored in a medium, a liquid medium, which will be making that particular or keeping the eyes alive. So that is why you need to put it in blood plasma or any kind of such sterile kind of a fluid liquid medium, which will be taking care of the eye. For grafting, the cornea part is taken out of the eye and is fixed in the place of the defective cornea, and the vision is restored. So the cornea of the blind person is removed, and the cornea of the eye which is donated, it is taken and it is transplanted over here, so that the person can have vision afterwards. Now up to 3 from 1. So yeah, this is something revolutionary. You can see that the cornea can be sliced down into thinner layers, and accordingly one cornea, when donated, can be giving the vision to 3 blind people. So up to 3 from 1, according to reports, Ames the New Delhi has developed the technique of slicing the cornea into 2 to 3 layers that can be grafted on as many defective eyes. So one eye donation can give 3 blind people or 2 to 3 blind people vision. So that's why it's very important that the eye donation should be conducted after death. So that is about the cornea. The next thing what we see is the choroid layer. Okay, I think I'll stop here for this video and continue in the next video. No, there is enough time, I can continue. Right, so that is the next one is the choroid layer. The choroid layer is richly supplied with blood vessels for providing nourishment into the eye. So the choroid layer is the next one. So next one, the next line over here is the choroid layer. Okay, that's a choroid layer, and it is richly supplied with blood vessels for providing nourishment to the eye. It contains a dark black pigment, melanin, which prevents light back from reflecting and scattering inside the eye. In front of the eye, the choroid expands to form the ciliary body containing circular muscles. The smooth muscles in the ciliary body alter the shape of the lens. So there will be the black colored part. What you can see is actually the complete inner part. So this part is going to come forward. So you can consider that if I draw this like this, there will be a kind of a ciliary part like this, and which is connected to the muscles here. So there will be ciliary muscles like this and like this connected, and here will be the lens. So the lens is over here, and the thickness means that these muscles are going to stretch or contract or expand the lens so that they can be accommodating the we can say the focal length of the lens is adjusted so as to see something more clearly. So that's about the thing. So we see over here, let's mark these points. The gap over here is the pupil. Okay. Then over here, the fluid, there is a fluid which is filled in between. So there is a fluid. So this bulging is slightly less in my case, but यहाँ पे एक fluid है which is the aqueous humor. Okay, aqueous humor is and this part over here is the iris, the black colored part, which is the iris of the eye. These are the circular ciliary muscles. So I'll measure here, that is circular ciliary muscles. Okay, and inside over here is the vitreous humor. Okay, that's a vitreous humor. So that was about the choroid. The choroid layer, as I told you, is the, okay, I missed it. Chale, not a problem. Okay, I just need to do this way. It is like this, and this part over here, this part gets connected here, and this over here ends over here. So this is ending over here. So as you see, the choroid layer is rich supplied with the blood, and it is the black colored part inside. So black colored part, so that यहाँ पे पूरा blackout होने के कारण it will be able to take the light properly, and there will not be reflection of the light taking outside. So that is, and also the smooth muscles which are here, they are going to adjust the size of the lens. The iris is also an extension of the choroid, partially covered with the lens and leaving a circular opening at the center. So the iris, that is this part is the iris, which is a circular, and which is giving a small opening for the lens. So there is a small opening for the lens, and the iris can be made more and more. So that is why if you see in front of a mirror and you take a torch on, so you find the torch जैसे on करेंगे ना तो वो छोटा हो जाएगा. The iris becomes pupil becomes smaller, and when you put it, if it is a dark area, it will be just broader. It will just lighten up more. Just become more bigger. So this is how the iris का size the pupil का size will be adjusted by the iris. The blue, black or brown color of the eye refers to the color of the iris. Pupil name has been derived from the Latin name pupa, meaning doll, which is the context referred to the tiny image of oneself seen inside in another's eyes. The iris contains radial muscles to widen and circular muscles to constrict the pupil. So you have got the muscles over here to widen and open the muscles, constrict the pupil. This adjusts the size of the pupil, regulates the amount of light entering the eye. So it is regulating the amount of light entering into the eye. You can easily observe this by throwing a torch into the eye while keeping in the mirror in dim or dark light. The pupil is dilated when it is bright light and is constricted when it is dark. So the pattern and arrangement of the iris muscle is unique for every individual, and therefore this are also a source of any individual's identification. The iris का जो अपना जो pattern है, that is unique, and that's why the eye से जो open होने वाले जितने भी ये है तो all gadgets which are using the eye lens का sensation, we call it as retina scan, but it's actually not retina scan, it is the iris scan. So that is about this iris. The last thing is the retina. Retina, or the innermost layer, is sensitive to the light. It contains two types of cell cells called as the rods and cones. So this is the last one, which is the retina. So this is the retina, which is the last layer, which is the layer which is going to contain the pigments as rods and cones. So two types of rods and cones. The rods cells, inner end rod-like, are sensitive to dim light but do not respond to color. They contain the pigment rhodopsin or visual purple. The rod cells are distributed throughout the retina. The cones, inner side conical, are sensitive to bright light and are responsible for color vision. They contain the pigment iodopsin. So rods, rhodopsin, and cones, iodopsin. Rods for the vision in the darkness also. So that is the light, dim light also you can see due to the rods, where cones are only in bright light, and that's why you can see the colors properly only in the bright light. You cannot see the colors properly in the dark light. In dark light you cannot identify the exact colors because the iodopsin which is present needs bright light for its sensitivity. So the cones cells are mostly confined on the yellow spot. Okay, so I'll just stop over here for this video and continue in the next video.